Why are you so tense, god damn it?
Because I don't know what I'm doing!
Calm down.
Extreme Blues up! Hey guys, Philly Cuts here. I got a special Blu Ray DVD today of my favorite horror movie of all time. A movie that I think is the scariest horror movie of all time. And that has to be The Exorcist. I got the 40th Anniversary Edition Blu Ray DVD, and it has a bunch of awesome features on it that I can't wait to get into. I'm going to watch them, and then I'll probably put up a review of them as well. For anyone who's interested, obviously watch. There's some cool special features in here. Talk with the Devil, it's called, which is a never-before-seen documentary with Father Eugene Gallagher. While at Georgetown University, William Peter Blatty, that's the guy who wrote the book that The Exorcist was based on, heard about a true case of possession from Father Eugene Gallagher. At the time the film came out, the priest talked at length about the exorcism, the true story, and about Blatty. And then there's also a Beyond Comprehension, William Peter Blatty's The Exorcist. 40 years after the novel was published, The Exorcist's author, screenwriter, and producer returns to where it all began. Also, this has the extended director's cut and the original theatrical version. I haven't watched the original theatrical version in quite some time. I've had this version before, which that's the great shot of Father Merrin when he arrives at the house to begin to perform the exorcism on Reagan, the young girl in the movie who was possessed, played by Linda Blair. I had this version, and I think that this came out, I want to say 2000, and they actually re-released the film and had it in theaters. I missed it. I wish I did go see it in the theaters when it came back out, because I would love to see this movie in like a movie theater. I would really hope one day that they would re-release this and actually do it in 3D. I think that would be really, really awesome. So there was definitely several scenes that they added into this. People who are familiar with this movie, probably the most notable scene that people will remember, and they show a picture of it that was added, is the spider walk scene, where Reagan walks down the stairs like a spider, like a weird, weird walk. They actually had to get like a contortionist to do it. They actually had a real person do that, because they didn't have, the computer CGI stuff that we have now back in 1973. So they actually, I remember listening to the director commentary in this version, and they said that that's what they did. They got a contortionist who was able to do that. I'm really excited. I highly recommend this movie. I think it should be required viewing of any horror fan. Really want to study the history of horror and horror movies, that this needs to be on the top of your list, because it's just so well done. Everything in this movie is completely well done. The story, the acting, the horror. To imagine that this movie came out in 1973, 40 years ago, I can only imagine the hoopla that it started and the controversy. The things that they show in this movie are pretty horrific, especially that crucifix scene with, I think people who've seen the movie know what I'm talking about. I probably first saw this movie at way too young of an age. I think I was probably around 10 or 11 when I saw it. My mother, God rest her soul, actually let me watch this movie. Don't ask me why. She's not around anymore, so we can't ask her. So maybe because I saw this movie at such a young age that it's been indelibly, imprinted in my mind as so scary. Because I remember the first time after I watched this movie, I couldn't get to sleep for, as you can imagine, being that young. But even now, every time after I watch this movie, and I always try to watch it at least, once a year, but it's been, this version. I try to watch it at least once a year, because it's my all-time favorite horror movie. I think that lots of horror movies that are coming out now, especially James Wan, if I pronounce that wrong, forgive me, but he's the guy that did Insidious and Insidious 2. And most recently, The Conjuring as well. I think he's taken a lot of things out of the Exorcist playbook in his movies And that's why they're so successful, especially in The Conjuring. I thought that there were a lot of elements and scenes that reminded me very much of The Exorcist. You know, atmospherically and just the way that it was done. So here's a better look once again of the front. That's the famous staircase, which I don't want to ruin it for anyone that never saw it. And on the back you have Regan when she was levitating during the exorcism. There's Father Merrin. Alright, here is my demon exorcising Blu-ray opener. So let's open this up. Alright, come on. Alright, let's see here. Let's see what we got here. So it looks like we have a nice sleeve here. This comes right out. Alright, no, nothing in there. Levitation shot. Great shot there. Great scene. Great shot. I guess I'll start maybe with the DVD. Blu-ray. I keep calling them, god darn it. I'll start with the Blu-ray. This is the code for your ultraviolet code, so you're able to watch this on mobile devices and your computer and stuff. A letter from William Friedkin. Okay, here is disc 1, which has the extended director's cut. Again, that's the famous lamppost scene. Father Merrin getting ready to do battle with Pazuzu. That was the name of the demon that possessed Regan. And if you ever saw Exorcist 2, that's where they really talk about Pazuzu more, and James Earl Jones is in it, and that was like a really, really weird movie. Not as nearly as good as this one. And then here's the original theatrical release. Now I remember that scene. That was when they put Regan under hypnosis, a psychologist, and that was really when the demon kind of made its first vocal presence, I believe, when the demon first started talking. And actually, that's the same one they put on this DVD. I actually kind of like the red tinted one better than this one, as you can see. Kind of looks scarier too, because it's more blurred. It's kind of a closer up. And then the bonus disc, which is very plain and just says The Exorcist. It's kind of like the title screen in the movie. And that's what has all the documentaries on it. I think I'm going to watch those first, so kind of get more background, more history of the film, and then I'll probably watch the original theatrical version next. Okay, now you get this nice book, this little hardcover book. It's kind of small and cute, actually. So let's see what's in here. Oh my god, the first page they show when Father Merrin was taken out by the demon. There's the holy water. There's Father Karras, the young priest in that movie, who also had a background in psychology and was also losing his faith during the film. Nice red cover there. There's the pendant. There's the famous pendant that was in the movie. Pendant. Yep, it's talking about Pazuzu here. I think that must be Friedkin or William Peter Blatty. There's Father Karras again. It says here, only 3 known cases were approved by the Catholic Church in the United States in the 20th century. 3 known cases. Now the 49 case, what this movie is based on, it was actually in the DC area, I believe. And it was actually of like a 13 or 14-year-old boy who was possessed, or so they thought he was possessed. I think that he was probably a kid that was severely disturbed mentally. I don't believe in demonic possession. But it was probably a child that was severely emotionally disturbed. But I read a book about this, and the exorcism supposedly lasted like months. Like these priests were going to that house for months, trying to get that kid in line. If I find out the name of the book that it was, I'll let you guys. I'll send out a tweet or something. Here's some more pictures. Georgetown. The movie was filmed. Some more stuff on the set. There's a shot of the staircase again. Oh, that was a classic scene. Casting Reagan. Probably give you a nice little input on how they found Linda Blair. Makeup and special effects. Oh my god, that's such a sinister... That is such a sinister look right there. Oh my god. Oh, I get scary just looking at it. I get so scared. There's another picture there. When she started to rise and levitate out of the bed. Oof, I get goosebumps. Just looking at it. There's when she was in the hospital. They took her to doctors to get her looked at, because in the beginning they thought she kind of had like a brain injury or something was going on with her brain. Some sort of cognitive dysfunction. There's again the levitating scene. Father Marin, Father Karras. Much has been written about the Exorcist curse, and if I believe it at the time, I could have not have continued. So yeah, I think I saw a documentary where Friedkin and the cast were talking about like some weird things that would happen on the set while they were filming. This is mentioning some comments that the Pope made at the time during production, Pope Paul VI, essentially saying that there are many kinds of devils that can easily penetrate the human mind. Here's talks about the filming in northern Iraq. That was kind of foreshadowing of what was to become between Father Marin and the demon Pazuzu. The soundtrack, which was excellent. Classic song Tubular Bells. Oh, that's scary. That's scary too. I won't say what that is, but people who've seen the film will remember. Then it talks about the version you've never seen, the 2000 release. Iconic picture once again. And they end it with a picture of the Pazuzu statue or idol in the shadows. And then Father Marin, while his spirit and willpower and belief and hope and faith were being tried during the exorcism. Alright guys, so that was an extended unboxing of The Exorcist 40th Anniversary Blu Ray. I'll watch this, some of the features, and check back with me, and I'll let you guys know how good those documentaries were. Alright, have a good night, and God bless.